night, so firefighters say they hope to make more progress soon.
This was an historic hearing yesterday. President-elect Donald Trump was sentenced without penalty in the New York hush money case Friday, made him the first felon who will become the president of the United States. New York Judge Duane St did not give President-elect Trump prison time or impose any fines, but sentenced him to unconditional discharge. Last year, Trump was convicted of 34 counts of falsifying business records. It was in connection with a $130,000 payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels. This was during the 2016 presidential election. Trump denies the affair, and in his statement, he insisted he is innocent.
It's been a political witch hunt. It was done to damage my reputation so that I'd lose the election, and obviously that didn't work. And the people of our country got to see this firsthand because they watched the case in your courtroom. They got to see this firsthand, and then they voted, and I won and got the largest number of votes by far of any Republican candidate in history.
Former prosecutor Jeremy Saland joins me now from New York. Jeremy, good morning to you. So there is no jail time, there is no fine. We know what it is not, but can you explain in just conversational terms, and not one of these conversations you have with your lawyer buddies, like a conversation with me and people watching, what is, we know what it isn't, what is unconditional discharge?
No fine, no community service, no monitoring like probation, no incarceration. Very often you get what's called a conditional discharge, which is don't get in trouble, don't get rearrested. In my 25 years, both as a prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney, I can't recall ever either offering or receiving an unconditional discharge. But the big picture, Victor, is that big fat felony, which doesn't go away. There's no punishment per se, but forever you are stained a felon. So barring a successful appeal, forever he will be a felon.
So the sentence is the stigma?
Well, the sentence, I think you have to look at it in a judicious way. And what I mean by that is if you or I, or probably most people, if not everyone listening to this and watching this program, where it's convicted of a felony, pardon me, they would potentially lose their job. They'd have all sorts of issues with travel. Now, I get the fact that the former, almost now current president won't have those same issues, but it's still nonetheless a stigma. And if it wasn't such a bad thing, you wouldn't have him fighting so angrily and wickedly and viciously in response to these allegations, trying to go to the Supreme Court to have this stopped. So it is significant, albeit, yes, you're correct. It's not a penalty like we see for you or me or an average person if we were to get into trouble.
And the president-elect team, his team went to the Supreme Court and tried to get them to stop the sentencing. The court, 5-4 decision, decided to stay out of it. But as they continue the appeals, let's say on the state side, do they have a legitimate argument from your perspective on appeal on sentence?
Well, we look at it from two angles. One would be sort of the process and what happened in the courtroom and in the grand jury. I think Judge St did a judge-worthy job in managing that case and making sure it was done properly. So that I think he loses. Where might he win or have some success? We have yet to see the extent of the Supreme Court's ruling in terms of immunity and whether some of this was outside the scope, that was meaning some of the evidence that came in that should not have otherwise been allowed to come in. Duane St, the judge, tried to answer that and did in his ruling, but he is not the Court of Appeals, which is New York State's highest court. So we will see what happens. But on its face in the four corners, it looks fine, but that question of law has never been asked or answered. So it's one that will likely be decided. Not process, more of the legal substance, if that makes sense.
Let's talk about Rudy Giuliani, held in contempt now of court by a second judge. First time it was for not handing over his assets. This time it's because he's continued to tell this lie about two Georgia elections workers claiming that they were in on stealing the 2020 election. Of course, that is not true, and that was the heart of the defamation case. Second contempt here. What happens next?
Yeah, so what he's doing, Victor, is sort of taking something out of Trump's playbook. And the judge had said, basically, you have chutzpah, meaning that takes real nerve to do what you did. And I'll respond by saying what she did, meaning the judge is saying now, not only did you really run afoul and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you need to have a declaration And I think it was 10 days she gave him to say, if you don't read the testimony, go through the deposition and do what you need to do, I'm going to fine you $200 a day. And that door isn't closed as to what could be greater and more in terms of what happens to him. Frankly, at some point, this isn't Donald Trump. Could the judge put him in custody? Certainly that's a possibility, albeit it's difficult for an 80-year-old man, but more fines. He's not going to win this. And I would remind people, unlike a criminal case where Donald Trump could swoop in theory and get rid of it, he can't pardon Giuliani on a civil matter.
Jeremy Saland, always good to see you. Thank you, sir.
We are getting new video of the chaotic moments after that deadly New Year's Day terror attack in New Orleans. Why investigators say 10 seconds of video is critical to this case. That's straight ahead. And he was one of the most decorated and influential artists of all time. Experience the life and music of the iconic Luther Vandross. The CNN film Luther Never Too Much airs tomorrow night at 9 on CNN.
Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, February 2nd on CNN.
With Dexcom G7, managing your diabetes just got easier. So, what's your glucose number right now? Good thing you don't need a finger stick. How's all that food affect your glucose? Oh, the answer's on your phone. What if you're hitting low at night? Wow, it can alert you. And you can even track your goals. Manage your diabetes with confidence with Dexcom G7, the most accurate CGM. Learn more at Dexcom.com.
Let's start the bidding at $5 million. Thank you, sir.
These people of privilege hoarding the financial advantages for far too long.
0.5 at the back.
Look at them, unaware that Robinhood Gold members now enjoy the VIP treatment.
$10 million on the
A
right.
3% IRA match on retirement contributions.
11 million, sir.
Once they discover their privileges are no longer exclusive, their fragile reality will plunge into disarray.
I will. They said hello. Kind Science skincare is doing very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer people a deal, and then I'm going to call it the DeGeneres deal.
Clever.
We're giving 4 of my favorite products, 2 free gifts, and free shipping. That's $200 worth of products for $49.95.
This whole thing is under $50.
Yeah, $49.95.
Wow.
You can call the number on your screen. You can go to kindscience.com. You can use a QR code. I just want people to try Kind Science.
What's this?
My new pony, and I love him.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I ran the numbers on Quicken. It's totally in my budget. Bad, Mr. Sparkles.
Allowance, birthday money, investments.
Quicken tracks all my income and spending, and even built me a personalized budget, so it's easier to save more.
This is amazing.
I know. It is. Yeah!
Do more with your money.
Hi.
Save up to 50% today.
It's a lot of money.
Dry eyes still feel gritty, rough, or tired? With MyBo, eyes can feel. MyBo is the only prescription dry eye drop that